do tricks. Front 180. It's the best board I've ever been able to make. 33.6 millimeters wide. G16 board. It's the. Try him out.
I got a package that's pretty exciting. Some of you guys might have seen that Mike Schneider uploaded a YouTube video showing off a new fingerboard. The video he posted about this board, it was interesting. I recommend everybody go watch his video after this video because the video gives off like a vibe that you can't explain. After I was done watching his video, I didn't feel the same after. Like it feels like I'm about to be possessed by Mike Schneider once I finish setting up this board. So let's go ahead and set up the board. So this fingerboard is apparently very limited edition, and this is the G16 FlatFace fingerboard. When you selected this to be added to your cart, you actually had to like pick 3 different options just in case one of them wasn't in stock. Nice little FlatFace sticker. More stickers. Why is there just like a picture? Like, what is this? Opening this up just doesn't feel correct for some reason. Time to actually see the board for the first time. Here it is. Why is it stapled on backwards? So Mike Schneider said that this board is pretty much the most perfected board that he's ever created. Now, I actually don't know if Mike Schneider is the one who makes these boards, but he definitely designed them. Just from reading some of this, you can definitely tell there was a lot of time and kind of thought that went into this board. And this board is actually a pretty unique board, and I'll explain why. This board is a pretty common shape, and you can see that the kicks aren't crazy steep, and they're also like not too mellow. You can see on this board, the concave kind of fits like how steep the nose and tail of the board is, and it just has like a nice natural look. This board has a lot steeper kicks, and you'll also notice the concave is a lot steeper as well. I personally like steeper kicks on a fingerboard, but sometimes the concave is a little bit too aggressive, making tricks a little bit inconsistent. So what the G16 board apparently has is it has steep kicks with pretty much no concave to it, which kind of looks like kind of weird, but apparently it just functions well. So let's find out. So looking at the board from the bottom or top, it doesn't look too different from like any other fingerboard until you turn it sideways. I think this board is gonna look a little bit different with grip tape on it, but so far just looking at the board like this, it doesn't look too awkward. I do have to say though, I'm actually really liking the shape. Let's finish setting up this board before I get possessed. I'm gonna set the board up using Bullgod's grip tape because it's my favorite grip tape, and this board is probably gonna function pretty well. Something you notice pretty much right away about this board is just the quality that went into it. I'm sure a lot of you probably know exactly what I'm talking about, but right when you open a fingerboard for the first time, you kind of just know instantly whether it's like high quality or kind of just like mid tier. This is definitely like top tier. I've had a lot of people ask me what the best tool for gripping a fingerboard is, and it really just depends on what grip tape you're using. Because this Bullgod tape pulls apart super easily, I'm gonna use a pair of scissors just because it gives it a little bit of a cleaner edge. If you have grip tape that kind of has like plastic in between it, you're definitely gonna be better off with a file. To get a clean grip tape job, I'll sometimes do like one pass with a pair of scissors, and then I'll go back with the file just to kind of clean everything up a little bit. Another thing I do once I'm done using like the file or scissors is I'll just use my thumb and kind of go over the edges a bunch, and it makes it look a lot cleaner. This might actually be one of my cleanest grip jobs I've ever done. In one of my last videos, I set up this teak tuning board and pretty much upgraded every single part on it. So I'm just gonna rob some of these trucks and put it on this board. I think the black base plates on the dynamic truss are gonna look so good on this board. We have this kind of black color with the white kind of like tan color, and that's gonna look really good. I don't know how this is possible, but I also don't know for sure, but this looks like a split ply. I'll zoom in as close as possible, but you can't tell me this is a graphic. I actually have no idea how you could possibly make a split ply like this, but this is definitely a split ply. I've created fingerboards that are exactly 33.5 millimeters wide, but this is 33.6. If you look at the board, you also notice these little like indents in the board, which is like 1 ply thick. I'm pretty sure those little indents in the board is if you have like inverted kingpin trucks. The kingpin actually has room to get your bushings like tighter, and that way the kingpin can actually go deeper without actually like pushing on the deck hard. That's not really a problem for me because I just run like the special edition dynamic trucks, so it should be good. The combo of the black on the base plates and the silver hanger kind of goes. I think white wheels are gonna probably look the best kind of with like all this busy pattern to it. So I'm gonna be using the Maple Ultra 2.0 wheels, I think. Because the board has like a busy like texture and kind of like pattern to it, I think just having plain white wheels is gonna look the best. I've talked about the Maple Ultra 2.0 wheels a bunch, and these are definitely my favorite wheel. The clean level of this board is going up. The shape of the board is not as awkward as I kind of thought it would look. Like, the shape of the board doesn't look too much different from other boards, but I definitely do see the concave being really mellow for how steep the kicks kind of are. It does feel super good though. Before I start actually doing tricks on the board, the kickflip test has to be done. Just before I actually kickflip test, I do notice the nose and tail almost looks like it has a bit of concave like in the tail. It's such a subtle little curve, you probably can't even see it on camera, but I definitely do see just a tiny bit of curve to it. Now it's time for the kickflip test. Will this board actually be good? That was a kickflip. It was a little bit sketchy, but I'll definitely take that. Okay, this board has some pop. It almost like sticks to your fingers. Just doing something like an ollie, you pop the board up and it kind of wants to just keep sticking to your fingers until you reach like the peak of the ollie. I'm not even just saying this for the video, but this fingerboard feels like better than pretty much every other board I've used. The way that you pop using this board feels like so good. When you fingerboard with a board that has kind of like lower kicks, it always feels like you're kind of aggressive with the board just to like pop it up. It's hard to explain, but this board just feels a lot more like graceful and kind of consistent because you don't need to be like really aggressive with the board to pop it up. It feels like your pop is a lot more consistent when you don't need to be aggressive with the board, and it just floats right up. When I first tried this board, I didn't really have like a set expectation of what I wanted it to be, but this feels like a lot better than I thought it would. Because the board doesn't have too much concave, I was almost fully expecting it to have like almost not enough control, but you definitely have like full control over the board. And the split ply part of it just looks amazing. Something I do really notice about the board is if you've ever done a kickflip and the board kind of turns to one side or the other and it's like kind of inconsistent, right when you pop for the kickflip on this, the board is like always straight. I don't know if that makes like a ton of sense, but you can definitely see just how straight the pops always are. Something else I'm noticing is when you do an impossible, because it's so flat, your finger is kind of on the board the entire time. But if you have like a really steep concave, it's almost like floating in the middle. Basically what I'm trying to say is you have like full control over the board pretty much all the time. I don't think the board has possessed me yet, but I'll keep you guys updated. I haven't really been looking to see if these are still in stock, but I'll definitely have a link in the description if they're still in stock. If you're running like a middle of the road fingerboard and you want to like kind of go right to the top, I would definitely recommend this deck. This video isn't sponsored by FlatFace or anybody even like related to this board, but dude, this board is actually really sick. Big thanks to all of you for supporting the channel, and I would appreciate a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.